imprisonment and criminal attempt to commit false imprisonment. Travis was further convicted of malice murder. Ultimately, Travis and Gregory McMichael were sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole.
Mr. McMichael, the court sentences you as follows. Count 1, malice murder, life without the possibility of parole. Greg McMichael, the court sentences you as follows. Count 1, malice murder, defendant was found not guilty. Count 2, felony murder, life without the possibility of parole.
While William Bryan was sent to life in prison with the possibility of parole.
Court sentences Mr. Bryan to life with the possibility of parole on count 3.
While taking the law into their own hands proved costly for the McMichaels and William Bryan, how does it compare to abusing the power of law? Like in the case of William Melendez, who's on trial.
I shot and killed people because they were black. That sentence fell out of Payton Gendron's mouth in a Buffalo courtroom, and for a split second, the air just stopped. He said it flat. No theatrics, no trembling voice, just a man staring at the rest of his life without sunlight, finally admitting what everyone already
Saturday afternoon,
knew.
the shooter fired about 50 shots. All 10 victims killed were black.
Contact homicide. We have bodies down here.
Twitch shut down the live stream within minutes, but the damage was already done. The world had glimpsed the horror unfolding in real time. Police arrived immediately, but by that time, 10 people had already lost their lives, and a further 3 were injured. All the victims were African Americans.
I believed what I read online and acted out of hate, and now I can't take it back, but I wish I could. Wish I could. Those 3 words landed in a room still bleeding from what he did on May 14th, 2022. 10 people dead, 3 more injured. A supermarket turned into a crime scene, a community shattered. And the man responsible, standing there in front of the families whose loved ones he murdered, asking for something no courtroom can give him. The judge didn't blink. There is no place for you or your ignorant, hateful, and evil ideologies in a civilized society. She said it like she was closing a book. There can be no mercy for you, no understanding, no second chances. But before we get to that sentencing, before we unpack how the law handles a crime this monstrous, we need to understand something critical. Because what happened in Buffalo wasn't just a mass shooting, it was terrorism. And the distinction matters more than most people realize. Under federal law, domestic terrorism is defined as any act dangerous to human life that violates criminal law and appears intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population. The key word there is intimidate. A murderer kills to end a specific life. A terrorist kills to send a message to everyone else who shares that victim's identity. Payton Gendron drove over 200 miles to reach that tops-friendly market. He chose it deliberately. He canvassed the area beforehand. He made drawings. He posted a 180-page manifesto online. His rifle was covered in racist language and the names of other shooters who came before him. This wasn't impulse. This wasn't rage in the moment. This was a military operation executed by a man who wanted to start a race war. The prosecution framed it exactly that way. On May 14th of 2022, they argued, this defendant displayed a callous disregard for human life. He drove over 200 miles out of his way with one mission, with one goal, to kill as many black people as possible. During that 3-hour drive, he could have turned around, but he wouldn't be deterred. He was steadfast.
Maybe, yeah, it's broken in. Maybe Larry English is over at 220. I don't know. Maybe Ahmaud Arbery was caught. Maybe Ahmaud Arbery is running from the police.
This was backed up by the investigator who said Gregory had previously testified to police that they were chasing Arbery only based on a hunch.
He makes admissions to seeing Mr. Arbery running down the roadway. His statement to the effect is he didn't know Mr. Arbery had stolen anything or not, but he had a gut feeling that Mr. Arbery may have been responsible for thefts that were in the neighborhood.
Linda then claimed the trio had drawn conclusions that day based on their racist mentality.
3 hours in a car. 3 hours to think about what he was about to do. 3 hours to change his mind. He didn't. The attack began in the parking lot around 2:30 in the afternoon. Gendron was wearing tactical gear. He had a helmet-mounted camera. He was live streaming on Twitch. Just before he got out of the car, he said it out loud. Just got to go for it. Like he was psyching himself up for a workout.
I'm very agile, but I don't want to hurt you.
However, one family member tried to take matters into his own hands.
You don't like black people. Man, you don't know a damn thing about black people. We're human. We like our kids to go to good schools. We love our kids. We never go in no neighborhoods and take people out. Don't do it!
He charged at Gendron, but was quickly detained and escorted out of the courtroom.
4 people shot in the parking lot. 3 killed immediately. Then he walked through the front door and kept firing. 9 more people inside. 50 shots in total. Every single victim was black. Twitch shut the stream down within minutes, but the damage was already done. The world had glimpsed a massacre in real time. Police arrived quickly, but by then 10 people had lost their lives. Dispatch calls captured the chaos. Officers on the radio trying to process what they were walking into. Multiple bodies, magazines and shell casings everywhere. A scene so overwhelming that one responding officer could only say, "He shot a lot of people in there. Oh my God."
I shot and killed people because they were black. Looking back now, I can't believe I actually did it. I believed what I read online and acted out of hate. I know I can't take it back, but I wish I could. And I don't want anyone to be inspired by me and what I did.
The judge also had some harsh words for Gendron.
There is no place for you or your ignorant, hateful, and evil ideologies in a civilized
Gendron was
society.
arrested at the scene. He initially put the gun to his own neck, but 2 Buffalo police officers talked him down. They talked a mass shooter into surrendering. Think about that. 2 patrol officers face to face with a heavily armed terrorist, and they convinced him to drop the weapon, take off his tactical gear, and submit to arrest. That's not just bravery. That's the kind of composure under pressure that most people cannot.
They even
imagine.
made a plea on social media about their whole ordeal.
He's very well aware of our schedule because he stalks us every day for the past 83 days. I need everyone watching this video to contact the Stearns County Prosecutor's Office, to contact every media organization because we will be willing to speak.
Finally, Byer was arrested after a neighbor turned him in. He was charged with stalking, harassment, first-degree property damage, and second-degree assault. Court documents revealed that Byer's racial attack started because he believed his girlfriend cheated on him with Philippe's son. Eventually, the jury found Byer guilty of 7
Once he was in custody, the legal machinery started turning. The charges were overwhelming. Murder, domestic terrorism, hate crimes. Under New York law, first-degree murder carries a sentence of life without parole. But the terrorism charge added another dimension. It meant the state was formally acknowledging that this wasn't just a crime against 10 individuals, it was a crime against an entire community. Here's where the legal architecture gets interesting. Hate crime statutes exist because the law recognizes that certain crimes do more damage than others, even when the physical act is identical. If you punch someone during a bar fight, that's assault. If you punch someone because of their race, religion, or sexual orientation, that's also assault, but the law treats it differently. Why? Because the hate crime victimizes not just the person you hit, but every member of the group they belong to. It sends a message. You are not safe. You are not welcome. You are a target. Payton Gendron understood this instinctively. That's exactly what he wanted. He wasn't just trying to kill people, he was trying to terrify millions. The trial itself was relatively short by the standards of a case this complex, and there's a reason for that. Gendron pleaded guilty to everything. Murder, domestic terrorism, hate crimes. All of it. When a defendant pleads guilty, there's no trial to decide guilt or innocence. The only thing left is sentencing. But that doesn't mean the courtroom was quiet. Sentencing hearings serve a unique purpose in the legal system. They give victims a voice. In most of a criminal trial, the victims are evidence, their injuries, their statements to police, their medical records. But at sentencing, they become people again. They get to stand up, face the person who harmed them, and say what needs to be said. And in Buffalo, what needed to be said was devastating. One family member stood up and looked Gendron directly in the eye. "You will be shot away from the world. You will not enjoy family events. You will not enjoy outings with friends. You will be nameless and faceless. And we feel sorry for you. We pity you even." Then the words cut deeper. Your life was meaningless before May 14th, 2022, and you woke up every day feeling small. Meaningless. Small. The words landed like
day
hammers.
Based on their racist mentality.
But he assumed the worst. He must have committed some crime. What's your emergency? There's a black man running down the street.
In fact, the investigation of the case had revealed that Travis was a well-known racist.
He says, makes the comment that would only be better if they'd have blown that effing N-words, or they'd blown that N-words head off. He made the statement that he loved his job because he was out on a boat and there weren't any N-words anywhere.
Eventually, Travis, Gregory, and Brian were convicted of felony murder, aggravated
Another
assault.
family member couldn't contain his rage. He charged at Gendron in the courtroom. "You don't like black people, man. You don't know a damn thing about black people. We're human. We like our kids to go to good schools. We love our kids. We never go in no neighborhood and take people out." He was restrained and escorted out, but the moment hung in the air long after he was gone.
His statement to the effect is he didn't know Mr. Aubrey had stolen anything or not, but he had a gut feeling that Mr. Aubrey may have been responsible for thefts that were in the neighborhood.
Linda then claimed the trio had drawn conclusions that day based on their racist mentality.
But he assumed the worst. He must have committed some crime. What's your emergency? There's a black man running down the street.
In fact, the investigation of the case had revealed that Travis was a well-known racist.
He says, makes the comment that would only be better if they'd have blown that effing N-words, or they'd blown that N-words head off. He made the statement that he loved his job because he was out on a boat and there weren't any N-words anywhere.
Eventually, Travis, Gregory, and Brian were convicted of felony murder, aggravated assault.
That's the thing about sentencing hearings. The law tries to create an orderly process for grief and fury, but grief and fury don't always cooperate, and sometimes the most honest moments in a courtroom are the ones that break the rules. Then came Gendron's turn to speak, and this is where the video you're watching earns its title, because what he said didn't save him, it didn't even help him, it just confirmed everything the prosecution had argued. "I'm very sorry for stealing the lives of your loved ones." He paused. "I cannot express how much I regret all the decisions I made leading up to my actions on May 14th. I did a terrible thing that day. I shot and killed people because they were black. Looking back now, I can't believe I actually did it." Now, the question that hangs over moments like this is whether the remorse is real. And that's not a question any of us can answer with certainty. But here's what the law cares about. Remorse matters at sentencing because it speaks to the possibility of rehabilitation. A defendant who genuinely understands the wrongfulness of their actions might, given enough time, become someone capable of re-entering society. A defendant who doesn't understand or doesn't care is a permanent danger. But in this case, the question was academic. The crimes were so severe that rehabilitation wasn't even on the table. The only question was whether the sentence would be life without parole or something slightly less. And the judge answered that question without hesitation. There is no place for you or your ignorant, hateful, and evil ideologies in a civilized society. She spoke slowly, deliberately, every word measured. There can be no mercy for you, no understanding, no second chances. The damage you have caused is too great, and the people you have hurt are too valuable to this community. You will never see the light of day as a free man ever again.
Who Melendez had kept in a chokehold all this while. Finally, a bloodied and battered Dent was restrained and taken away, while officers started to search his car. Footage inside the police...
That's not a figure of speech. Life without parole means exactly what it says. Payton Gendron will die in a prison cell. He will never walk outside again. He will never sit in a restaurant, drive a car, feel sunlight on his face without bars between him and the sky. The victims' families said he would be nameless and faceless, and the sentence ensured exactly that.
Strangers.
Linda then argued that everything the trio did that day was based on assumptions, as there was no evidence that Arbery had actually committed a crime.
This is what I was thinking. Mr. Arbery may have run by. Maybe Matt had seen him. Maybe he has broken in. Maybe Larry English is over at 220. I don't know. Maybe Ahmaud Arbery was caught. Maybe Ahmaud Arbery is running from the police.
This was backed up by the...
This is where I want to pause and ask you something, because your answer matters for how we talk about cases like this going forward. Do you believe remorse expressed after a crime this calculated should carry any weight at sentencing? Or does the planning, the manifesto, the 3-hour drive, the live stream, all of it, make any apology irrelevant? I'm genuinely curious what you think. Drop your answer in the comments. I read them, and I want to know where this audience stands. Now, the Buffalo case is not the only time a racist got exactly what they deserved. And if you think life without parole is harsh, wait until you see what happened in the next case. Benton Byer had a problem. He believed his girlfriend cheated on him with a black man's son. So he did what any deranged, hate-filled mind would do. He started terrorizing the entire family. Andrea and Felipe Robinson lived in Cold Spring.
When you hit the ground?
When I hit the ground, he had jumped on me and grabbed me by the throat.
And you just go ahead. I'm sorry.
And he started choking me. Then he started beating me in the head.
When asked about the impact of the assault, Dent said his ability to process information was disrupted after the attack.
Do you have problems processing?
Yes.
They were an interracial couple who had the audacity to post a video about racism and put a Black Lives Matter sign in their yard. In retaliation, Byer smashed the windows of Andrea's car, then her daughter's car. Then he started following Andrea to the grocery store. He learned their schedule. He stalked them for 83 days.
But someone telling me or asked me.
Eventually, Melendez was found guilty of all charges.
How does the jury find the defendant, William Gale Melendez, as to count 2, assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder, complainant Floyd Dent?
Guilty.
As to count 3, misconduct in office?
Guilty.
At his sentencing, Melendez took the stand and apologized to Dent and his family.
To Mr. Dent and his family, I am truly sorry if this has caused undue.
83 days. The Robinsons got a restraining order. It didn't stop him. They called the police repeatedly. The harassment continued. Andrea went on social media and begged for help. I need everyone watching this video to contact the Stearns County Prosecutor's Office, to contact every media organization, because we will be willing to speak. That's not a woman seeking attention. That's a woman terrified that the system will fail her. And then Byer escalated. He stole an SUV, placed a large granite slab on the gas pedal, and aimed it directly at the Robinsons' home. The whole thing was captured on a ring camera. Inside the truck, a teddy bear hung from a noose. The symbolism wasn't subtle. A noose has a long and specific history in America. It's not just a threat of violence, it's a threat of a particular kind of violence, directed at a particular group of people. Byer was finally arrested after a neighbor turned him in. He faced charges for stalking, harassment, first-degree property damage, and second-degree assault. The jury found him guilty on 7 counts. At sentencing, Andrea stood up and addressed her tormentor directly. Nothing could be worse than the impact your actions have had on my life and the life of my family. You did not destroy a home. You destroyed a family. Every day I'm faced with the same struggle. The house I once called home now resembles the shell of a life that once was. And a family that's forever
Stabbed 3 men for protesting against him. What happens when you racially abuse a child celebrating his birthday?
Yeah, we see you too, baby. We see you too, baby. See, that's a threat. That's a threat. Stop that truck. That's a threat.
Like in the case of Kayla Norton and Jose Torres, who were facing charges for racially abusing a group of African Americans in Georgia. Reports suggest that on July 2015, Norton and Torres, who were part of a group called Respect the Flag, were driving around Douglas County with dozens of other members, displaying the Confederate battle flag on their pickup trucks. Their convoy stopped near a residence and disrupted the birthday party of an 8-year-old black child.
This is a birthday party. This is a child's birthday party.
Armed with guns and knives, the group allegedly hurled racial slurs and threatened to kill the guests.
Byer apologized. He asked for forgiveness, and then he was sentenced to 105 months in prison, nearly 9 years, with the requirement that he serve at least 70 months before even being eligible for parole. Now, here's the legal lesson I want you to take from both these cases, because it's something that could matter to you or someone you know one day. The law distinguishes between crimes of impulse and crimes of deliberation. Impulse crimes happen in the moment, a fight that gets out of hand, a bad decision made under extreme emotional stress. Deliberation crimes involve planning, preparation, a conscious choice to do harm over an extended period. Payton Gendron drove 3 hours. He wrote a manifesto. He scouted the location. Benton Byer stalked his victims for 83 days. He escalated methodically. He had time to stop. Both of them had every opportunity to change course, and neither did. When the law sees that level of deliberation, mercy becomes almost impossible. The sentence isn't just about punishment, it's about sending a message back. You tried to terrorize a community. The community responds by removing you from it forever. Gendron said he wished he could take it back. Byer said he hoped for forgiveness. But the law isn't built on wishes. It's built on what you did, what you planned, and whether you stopped yourself when you still could. Neither of these men stopped themselves, and so neither will ever walk free again. If this breakdown gave you something to think about, if it made you understand the law a little better than you did 10 minutes ago, share it with someone who needs to see it. Comments drive these videos, so let me know what you think below. Subscribe if you want more cases like this one. I'll see you in the next one.